In this video, I'm going to explain why you want to be training your flicks with a metronome. For anyone who doesn't know, a metronome is just a noise that plays at a preset frequency. You can find one on Google for free and it'll just play right to your headphones. Now to train with it, all you do is you just play it in the background and try and hit a target every time it beeps. Metronomes used to be pretty popular in aim training. People would use them really all the time. But then what happened was bardOZ set a world record in 1 while 6 targets small and then released a static aiming guide, which basically just became the go-to for technique of static aim training. In this guide, he says not to use a metronome. This logic was that the metronomes wouldn't work well as the targets are spaced out differently, so the timing would kind of get broken, especially when targets were extremely close together. No one really questioned this, it kind of just became the mainstream idea. I even promoted it for a while. Now before I explain why I changed my mind and now like metronomes, I gotta point out that 63% of you can't even hit a subscribe button. Like, your aim isn't that bad. I make your aim training routines, you can hit it. Just go and try, prove YouTube wrong. However, the other day I was watching a video from a Stanford neurobiology professor on motor learning. In this 2-hour-long podcast, the guy felt the need to dedicate an entire section to metronomes, as they've actually been shown to be extremely successful in getting faster at performing a motor skill.
What athletes find is they can perform more repetitions, they can generate more output, you can increase speed. A number of really interesting things are being done with auditory metronoming.
Basically what this is saying is you use a metronome when you're aim training, and scientifically speaking, you'll start flicking faster. Now on top of this, directing your attention towards the beeping in a metronome was shown to help you improve faster than if you were to direct your attention towards something else within aiming, like how you're gripping your mouse or how fast you're moving or just anything. Now I'm not saying you should only train with a metronome on, as there are other things to work on other than speed when flicking, but a metronome can be a great tool for clicking and some target switching, even if it won't work as well as when you encounter a cluster of targets. To train with a metronome, typically you want to set it to beep more times than you need to set your high score, maybe like 5 to 10% more targets required to meet the pace. Also, it's pretty important to just ignore your accuracy stat on this and allow yourself to make errors. Your brain will recover from them and it'll help you improve faster. Now there's also of course bardOZ's issue of targets and clusters, and for this I've found a couple ways to play around it. One is you just target one of the targets in a cluster, then go to a target far away, come back to the cluster for one target, go to a target far away, and just keep repeating like that until there's no more clusters or till the clusters move around, and just play the scenario like that. Doing this will require you to turn down the metronome's pacing a little bit, as ignoring clusters makes it so your maximum skill level will be a bit lower. You could also just accept that the pacing will be a bit weird in the clusters and kind of just ignore the metronome while you're in these areas. So even though bardOZ says to avoid metronomes, I'd say they're quite useful. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more aim training content.